I'm not lying down, my blood pressure could drop, which caused me to pass out. Could actually pass out like right now, so watch out. Anyways, my ability to walk freely was ripped right out of my hands. And now I constantly live with the fear of passing out or having an uncontrollable blood sugar. Both of these completely changed my life forever, all before the age of 14 years old. Now, being a Christian does not mean that we won't go through tough times in our lives. Many people in the Bible also experienced difficult times that they didn't understand or deserve. For example, Acts chapter 16 talks about Paul and Silas, and they were faced with a very unfair situation. Basically, there was a servant woman, and she was demon-possessed, and she had the power to tell people their fortunes. Now, people paid a lot of money for this, so her owners had a thriving business going on. Now, Paul became so annoyed with this whole situation that he cast the demon out of the woman. And this made her owners very upset because they knew that their little business that they had going on was over. They took Paul and Silas to the authorities and they were ordered, ready, to be stripped of their clothes, beaten with rods, and then they were taken to jail. They did nothing wrong, but they still had to face an unfair punishment. Sometimes the hard times that we go through in our lives are not a result of anything that we have done or the choices that we have made. I have been a Christian for as long as I can remember, and I've tried to do everything that the Lord has called me to do to the best of my ability, but I still have to deal with both of these life-threatening diseases every single day. Acts 16, verse 25 and 26 says, "About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and all of the prisoners were listening to them. Suddenly, there was such a violent earthquake that the foundations of the prison were shaken. At once, all the prison doors flew open and everyone's chains came loose." Now, since Paul and Silas did nothing wrong and all these horrible things happened to them, they had every reason to be discouraged about their relationship with God. But they weren't. Even after everything that happened to them, they still had faith. Even though I don't understand why these things are happening to me, I still continue to praise the Lord every day. And I keep believing that one day I am going to be healed. I keep praying every day for my healing, reading my Bible, worshiping, and doing everything that I can to keep getting stronger during this storm. Okay, so back to the story. Obviously, violent earthquakes and jail doors flying open had never happened before on the jailer's watch. He was so surprised that he asked Paul and Silas what he had to do to be saved, and they told him to believe in Jesus. Then the next day, Paul and Silas were released from jail. So because they had faith in God, they were saved from being in jail. We have to do this in our lives too. And I know that the hard times that we go through can be frustrating and difficult. While I know in my heart what the word says, I struggle too. There are days where I cry and I get so upset because I'm going through such a difficult season in my life right now. I don't like having to inject myself with needles all the time or watching people stare at me and look at me different because I'm in a wheelchair. But the thing that keeps me going is that the Lord is my Father, and He loves me so much. And He promises us in Deuteronomy 31:6 that He will never leave us or forsake us. So whenever your loved one is sick, He's not going to leave you. When you're having financial troubles, He's not going to leave you. And whenever your marriage is struggling, He is not going to leave you. Whatever is going on in your life, know that God is in control. And I believe that He has a plan for all of our lives. And that He is going to bring good out of all the difficult situations that we face. Romans 8:28 tells us that every circumstance is able to work together for a good result if we love God and are in the kingdom of the faithful. So as believers, I charge you to have faith in God because He is able to bring good out of all the difficult situations that we face in our lives.